Take a picture. It'll last longer. Here's a look at the NFC playoff picture, and that timeline coming to a close for some, but we take our attention to the top, where the Eagles have yet to lock up that 1 seed. The Niners and the Cowboys, both with looks at it. The Vikings, after suffering a loss, fall to 12-4. They do not have their hands on a 1 seed. In the wild card, Cowboys, if they can't jump the Eagles in the division, they will be the 5 seed. Can't be any lower. Giants locking up a spot on Sunday. The Seahawks, Lions, and Packers all alive with scenarios abound. Here's a look at the scenario regarding that 1 seed. Pretty linear for the Eagles. You win and it's yours. That has been the case for the last 3 weeks. They will face off with the Giants in Week 18, looking to finish that work that they have yet to. The 49ers on that 9-game winning streak, they need a win and that Eagles loss against the Giants. The Cowboys need both the Niners and the Eagles to lose, and they would have to beat the Commanders. So in Week 18, it's Eagles-Giants, Niners-Cardinals, Cowboys-Commanders. We'll see who lands on number 1. All right, let's dive in with the guys. Bryant McFadden, Ryan Wilson. Fellas, taking a look at that NFC playoff picture. Still very interesting heading into Week 18. I want to talk about the 1 seed right now because I know it's been the Eagles all year. Best team in the NFC, best team in football at certain points. But I'll ask the question again now because maybe opinions have changed. Ryan Wilson, who is the best team in the NFC?
Man, here's the thing. The Eagles are not healthy, and they're getting unhealthy at the worst possible time. They had some pretty good health luck over the first 3 quarters of the season, and then the injury bug has hit them. So I'm stalling here. I can't believe I'm going to say this, guys. I'm leaning towards the Brock Purdy 49ers, and I'm leaning towards the Brock Purdy 49ers because Kyle Shanahan's dialing up the plays. Deebo Samuel's coming back. While Deebo Samuel's resting right now, they have Christian McCaffrey, they have George Kittle, they have Brandon Ayuk, and oh, by the way, they have that defense, and they're playing with a ton of confidence. So I'm going with Brock Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant is very much relevant as we get into January. We're in January 1 right now, and look ahead towards the playoffs. I can't believe I'm at that point. Jalen Hurts needs to get healthy, get back out there, but for me right now, it's San Francisco.
Believe it. I believe it. Valid point, Ryan. Valid point. Yeah, it's the San Francisco 49ers because they're the healthiest in regards to Philly. And Brock Purdy has pretty much shown all of us he can handle having the keys to the car in his hands. And you've talked about Deebo. Eventually getting Deebo Samuel back would be huge as well. Not to mention, even though we didn't see the defensive performance that we've seen from their defense throughout the entire season in today's matchup against the Raiders, but we know what that unit can do. In regards to Philadelphia, number 1, we should give Jalen Hurts his flowers because a lot of people feel like this was a quarterback-friendly offense. You can put anybody in at that position for the Eagles and they will be successful. No. You got to be a beast to be successful in that offense, and clearly we're seeing that without Jalen Hurts in the lineup. But right now, to answer your question, yes, if you were to pick the best team in the NFC based on what we're seeing, based on how the roster is constructed right now, I'm right there with Ryan. I take the 49ers.
Yeah, health has to be taken into account. The 49ers took their lumps and bumps earlier in the season. As Ryan said, the Eagles just catching the bug at the wrong time. Nick Bosa did say post-game that he thinks this defense needed a wake-up call like this, so we send our thoughts to the Cardinals in the coming week. Shifting our attention back down to that final wild card spot. Pretty simple for Green Bay. Not simple from where they were, but everything has broken their way, and they've continued to win football games. If they win one more, they're in the playoffs. If they lose, that would open the door for Detroit if Seattle loses, or Seattle if they can pull off a win in Week 18. When you take a look, B-Mac, at that final wild card spot, obvious the numbers are going to reflect Green Bay being the favorite. Do you think that's where they land?
That's a good question, Joe, because Detroit, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but they're playing some real good football. Today against Justin Fields, finding a way to slow him down a little bit, that was huge. That was big for their confidence on that side of the football. And Jared Goff in that offense has been really, really explosive. Now, get this. They got to travel to Lambeau Field, right? Home cooking has been real good for Green Bay. But I think Detroit might find a way to sneak one out. The Motor City will be alive, in my opinion, based on what I'm seeing from their offense and how they control the line of scrimmage with that offensive line unit. Jared Goff has been phenomenal. And the defense, just finding ways to get timely stops. So I think it will be the Detroit Lions when it's all said and done, and winning in Lambeau and finding a way to try to get into the playoffs.
And the Lions are such a great story. BMAC, our guy Stephen O. at Sportsline, who does all the math for us, said that the Lions' chances for the playoffs actually went down after winning today from 28 to 12, in part because of the Packers, as Joe mentioned. The Packers have gone from 33% to 65%. All that said, I'm with BMAC. I want to see this story play out in Detroit. It feels like the arrow's pointing up, as we like to say, but they're running out of games. But all they have to do, at least a big first step, is to go to Lambeau and beat the Packers. Now, that's a big ask for any Lions team, but this Lions team feels as equipped as any to get the job done, in part because, as B-Mac noted, Jared Goff is balling out, and he's balling out to the tune of, you might thought he was Matthew Stafford a few years ago in Detroit. He's playing so well. Also, by the way, Aaron Rodgers only threw for 150 and change today. It's not like he's lighting up opposing defenses, whereas Jared Goff in this running game of Detroit will hang a 35 on you in a hurry. So I think even if they get down by 10 points early, the Lions are capable of coming back, and they have the confidence to come back. Now, the issue is going to be the run defense for Detroit and slowing down A.J. Dillon, who's been running hog wild on everyone, and, of course, Aaron Jones. But if they can do that and make Aaron Rodgers rely on his young wide receivers and then let Jared Goff continue to do what he does, there's a chance. That's all I'm saying. And I think it's going to be a fantastic game. I think it might be a primetime game next Sunday night. And Lord help us if Dan Campbell gets into the playoffs, what he will do to kneecaps that happen to be exposed at the post-game press conference.
And the beauty of it all, there's only one way to find out. Week 18. We'll see you soon. And here's one last look at that playoff picture as it stands through 17 weeks. All the work for this. 3 teams vying for that final spot in the wild card: the Lions, the Packers, and the Seahawks. And then plenty to be sorted there around the 1 seed. Cowboys hoping that the chips fall their way. They'll need 2 losses to jump that line, and they can only jump to number 1 over the Birds.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.